All right,
Me
it's
too.
recording.
Like now.
Yeah, like right now. Start the podcast, please.
Welcome back, System Wars, to another edition of Pedal to the Metal. We're here tonight with some special guests tonight. We actually two hosts and one guest. It was going to be a different show, but it took its own life. So before we get into what we're doing tonight, I want to introduce the other two co-hosts of Pedal to the Metal. The man to my left, the man, the myth, the legendary, Heil68. What's going on, Heil?
Not much. Just celebrating the flop. Wondering why people get so heard about the flop. So we'll be talking a little bit about that with our special guest, Blabadon. What's up, Blabadon? I heard you're hurting from the flop. Is that true?
I am hurting from the flop. Church of Toad.
Church of Toad flopped.
It was supposed to go Quad A, wasn't it?
Quad A unlocked.
Quad
Only
A.
to-
I've never heard that before.
We were hyping
Yeah.
11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Only to double A flop.
I know that's a big time flop too. That's 2 points beneath its
It
average.
is.
Damn.
I bet you it won't even sell 300,000 copies. That shit.
Yeah.
What do you think, Blab?
Heil, who else we got, man? Who's our other co-host?
Our other co-host is Animal Mother. What's up, Animal?
No. Animal Mother is dead. I'm Animal Father.
He is.
I'm Animal Father. If you couldn't
I
tell
don't
by
get
my...
what the aviator glasses makes a father. What's that? What am I missing there?
Listen, I'm a World War II bomber now. You see by my Razor Black Shark headset plug, we're getting that Razor money. And my aviators, I'm a World War II bomber on the bitchin'... Wait, no, what would it be? Like the Busty Betty?
Yes. The
Where-
Enola Gay.
Yeah, I'm a bomber on,
On the BBC plane, right?
I'm a bomber on the Enola Gay.
Jesus Christ.
And speaking of the BBC, we Pedal to the Metal and the System Wars have been they've been carpet
Don't do
bombed. They've been carpet bombed by
Don't
dicks,
do it.
by big
No.
black dicks.
True story.
No, we had to bring it up. Listen, when people are
it's time.
posting dicks on the forums, there's something wrong.
It's time to bring it up, guys. Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk
So,
about it. Let's talk
we're gonna
about the
get ready to
dicks.
Yeah, I don't even want to be.
I just got one comment. I was banned for a better part of 3 years, and I missed the site, but I never thought about, well, I'm going to show them guys and start posting like pornography. I just don't get the relentless. I mean, he's probably obviously he's doing it for fun. He's probably getting a chuckle out of it. It's just like I just don't get that mentality. So I don't know. I hope they find the person, because it is a little disruptive.
Well, give it a little background. I mean, Heil, you're on the forum, I would say, more than the other three of us, and you kind of have seen like the rise in the sustenance of the BBC. So,
Oh
what
my God!
exactly-
Wait,
lay it
Jeff,
out
Jeff,
inside.
can you tell me what BBC means?
That's the big black cock. Man.
Oh yeah.
So Heil, what's going on, man? Like, it started from what we believe is an angry user who.
Yeah, sniper possibly getting, but I'm not sure.
Don't start mentioning his. Don't
I
start
don't know.
mentioning
That's
names.
all rumors. I
Before
don't know.
you know it, there's gonna be
Somebody got banned and didn't like it, so they started creating alt accounts and then posting that in every thread. So literally, some days you walk down, you see this one user posting like 3/4 of the threads, and he also makes a special BBC report.
See, Heil, I think this was
I
your
should've laughed.
idea. I think this is your idea because
No.
you always said to people, "I will never post a picture of myself online because I don't want dicks in my mouth." That's what you said. You inception somebody.
Well, I don't think it's that. I think that
It's the internet.
I think Heil just rolled the dice. He knows the internet too well, and he doesn't take chances. But this has been going on for a few weeks, and needless to say, this has become an issue within the community, and obviously people have voiced their opinions about it. And I have to say, and I don't know, I want to ask Blab's opinion on this, as someone who uses the forum, pretty frequently. I think personally that the community is actually being pretty cool about it. I think for the most part, people just kind of ignore it and flag it, and then the mods go in within 3 minutes and shut it down. Are you like, Blab, is it something that, like, has it gotten to the point where you just kind of scroll over the BBC and don't even worry about it? Or is it, like, highly offensive?
Now, when you see the BBC, it's Control W right away. It's Control W right away,
What's
because
Control W do?
that closes the tab you're on, because you're at work. You can't have that stuff happen. You're on your phone.
Oh no,
You
God,
can't have
that
stuff in.
has been the worst, because all of a sudden doing my way, my normal day, and I'm where my office is at. I'm right in front of the boss, so like my
Yeah.
dual monitors like face everybody back at me. So here I am just looking away, and all of a sudden, big black cock.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Some
like,
dude
I
blowing
think
himself.
Oh my God.
every gaming podcast should start off with a discussion about the big black cock.
You know, if
the BBC
gaming
report.
my
I don't know where
own-
it came
The
from. I don't,
BBC report every time.
if I get the idea, that I apologize, but I've seen it years ago with different suicide threads. So that's the only reason I didn't want my picture on there, because I fear the fear of that. So I don't know, but hopefully they find the jerk off that's doing it. And
Well,
give him
you
his-
know
his
what the
just
answer
dues.
is, Eroica? You unban Animal Mother. You let him
No,
come
no,
in.
you're banned. You have, to the best of my knowledge, I
I
gave
have-
you a,
I have
a
a-
90-day. I gave you a 90-day
I have
ban.
I have 11 weeks left.
Yeah.
I don't miss it. I don't like. I've been getting shit on track after Eroica. I don't know what to call you anymore.
Whatever.
Whatever. Eroica knows that I've had a rough couple weeks. I had a rough November, and
Girls, din, 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 din.
no, don't.
Okay.
Don't reveal my personal information. Except that except that I live in Queens, New York. Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
No, Eroica knows I had a hard month, and I just needed to get away for a couple months because everyone was just making me mad and angry, and I couldn't deal with the stupidity anymore. Somebody, I mean,
With the BBC.
well, because you know what it is? I'm reading, I read once or twice a day now, so my Gamespot consumption is really down. But I miss the BBC threads because I'm trying to limit my time. Like I go there once in the morning, once in the afternoon to catch up.
Yeah.
And I just see some dumb stuff sometimes, and it still makes me angry. But the fact that I'm not wasting my time sitting there replying on it is a big time saver.
Yeah.
Like reading it, shaking my head, and going, "Well, I have better things to do." Is nice. Not to say that the
Right.
people who post don't have better things to do.
So you went from an awesome GameSpot community member to being a fucking bore ass.
Well, listen, I wouldn't call it bored. Listen, you know what was going on in my personal life. You know why I needed this.
No, I think it was a good move for you. But here's the thing: is that getting back to the BBC.
Speaking of the BBC, I miss those threads. You guys have been filling me in.
Yeah, I mean it's become a little bit of a plague, but like I said, the community's been talking a ton about it, and it's something that comes up. I mean, I'm a mod on GameSpot, so I see the obviously the emails that come in and the things, the concern and stuff like that. So it's pretty. As far as I'm concerned, the community's handling it very, very well. But I did do a little bit of extra homework for System Wars tonight, so I'm going to go into this now, and I'm going to get your guys' response with it. And I think I'm going to start with Blab on the response, but first let me lay it all out. I had the opportunity to interview Cynthia today, and for those of you who don't know, that's Digital Dame on GameSpot, who is the community manager of all the forums and the website. So I actually asked her to be on the show tonight, and at first she was going to be able to, and then it kind of fell through, but she allowed me to do an interview with her, a very informal interview, pose a couple of general questions and kind of get her take on things. So I basically asked her, I said, one of the things that pops up, and rightfully so, is that the community is probably sitting back thinking to themselves, nobody's doing anything about it. There's nothing is changed other than, BBC sits up on your screen for 30 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes before a mod gets to it and shuts it down.
Who's looking at? Well, all right, never mind.
So anyways, moving forward, I said to her, I was like, what exactly can you articulate for the community to know as far as how the whole thing is being handled? So I'm going to read off my iPad. So if I'm not looking at the screen, I apologize. But this is what she said. She said, we'll be adding more moderators in the coming weeks. More eyes on the boards means that this should continue. This shouldn't really continue to happen to any great length, that it should be addressed quicker. That's the first line. And then she says, we're closely tracking some information of the users or / users that are contributing to the issue. And because of the issues on System Wars and forum-wide this is what some of the things that they are doing. They're IP banning, they're region locking for content creation until milestones are passed. User accounts that are less than 3 months old will no longer be able to post more than once consecutively on someone else's wall. User accounts that are less than 3 months old will no longer be able to make more than 2 total wall posts or status updates in a 24-hour period. All users can now delete any post from their own wall. Let me repeat that one because I think that's one that some people will like. All users can now delete any post from their own wall. Blacklisting certain email sites. They'll be blacklisting certain keywords that sync with abusers' posting behaviors. So it's not that we're not doing anything; it's that this guy is really, really bored.
He's really persistent too. Like,
well, and you know, it's a very sad form of behavior when you really think about it. I mean, there's got to be a point where you like are brushing your teeth like in the morning after you wake up, and you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, "Oh my God, I'm the guy that's posting black dicks all over the internet today."
like
a video game form.
We talked about this. Like, I understand lewd behavior on the internet because it's something that's on the internet, and anybody that hasn't looked at a porno or who doesn't go to like a I'm not going to start mentioning websites, but anybody that doesn't go to like a porn website or a Reddit, like a subreddit, like everyone's lying to themselves. So it's just like, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, it's a bit excessive at a point for a guy to be like, this is what I have to do. This is what I'm going to, like, all right, like I wake up in the morning and I go, okay, I have to put on my pants and I have to go to work. And I'm sure you say the same to you. I'm sure you guys, Blabadon and Heil, you guys say the same thing to yourselves. And Eroica, like, I got to get dressed. I got to do my morning ritual. I got to get to work. This guy's waking up and going like, I'm going to take a bunch of big black dicks. And he goes, I'm going to Photoshop them on some pictures today. And it's like, nothing for nothing, that behavior is so attention-seeking, it's pathetic. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of raw attitude on the internet because it's the internet. We've all been to the dark corners. I'm sure we've all seen something really crazy that we haven't wanted to see. But at the same time, for a person to go like, okay, this is what I'm going to do today, and that he has to keep weaseling his way back onto the site, if that is the case, it's sad. It's pathetic. Like, I feel like I have to cover myself up like a woman. Like, woo. Like, don't look at me. Yeah.
Well, all right. So you know, I mean, obviously, given there is a certain shock value to this, but like the last thing that they are looking into for GameSpot, on their behalf, one of the big things they're looking into, and again, this is just looking into, and Cynthia was kind enough to say, you know, she went out of her way to make sure that I understood that they're trying to do everything they can to avoid implementing things that strangle the community members that actually use the boards for the right reasons. But one of the things that they're looking into is not allowing users to post any images until an account is X days old, and that'll solve the issue, I would think, pretty easily, considering if you have to have certain accounts that have a certain amount of activity on it, 50, 100, whatever, 200 posts before you're allowed to post a picture, that to me sounds like it would clear up.
That leaves one last, like I was talking to you, that leaves one last window open for chaos.
Why?
All right, what were you saying? Like, it's it leaves them to snake the system one last time and try to sneak in there as a normal user and then just wreak all fucking havoc.
Yeah, but again, I mean,
it's a waste of time. Yeah, it's
a waste of time right now because the threads get shut down in under 5 minutes. So, I mean, some sneak through the cracks and make it 10, 15. I've seen some that go up to 30 minutes before they're shut down. But for the most part, I mean, there's 2 or 3 active mods in System Wars at any one time. So, Blab, what do you think? I just read that whole list of stuff. Do you think that we're going to curb the issue?
I mean, it feels like they're wasting their time just based on kind of a knee-jerk reaction. This is what I wrote earlier. If they're gonna program or code the code in there that'll basically stop a user from posting all these pictures until they reach a certain amount of posts, why can't they hard code that 500 post limit into System Wars? They've never done that. The rule has always been there that you need 500 posts to post in System Wars, but that's never been hard coded. And because that's never been hard coded, anyone who wants to post black dicks everywhere, they can literally just keep posting it and then make a new account and do it again.
So you're
Their best idea is actually.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, if you go on, there's more issues because this site, God knows, when it relaunched last year, it had so many issues. You couldn't see the legacy forums. There's still no way to actually see your last post from what you read like you had last time.
Mm-hmm.
The pages are still listed incorrectly. If you look at the System Wars Lounge, there's 9 pages in there, but from what you see, you'd only see 8 of them on the main page.
Can you repeat that?
You
first
guys
part you were cutting
basically
out?
what I'm saying is we have all these issues. We've had all these issues for a site that's over a year old in its new form, but they haven't fixed those for some God knows why reason. But now, based off a knee-jerk reaction, based on big black cocks, they suddenly are going to think about hard coding these picture limits into you need to post a certain amount of times and then you can post a picture. I just wish that they had gotten something done before they needed this knee-jerk reaction, this wake-up call.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, are we still in the year umbrella of the launch of the new GameSpot, or have we passed that?
It was October. It was October. I was gonna make a thread. Let me just go over a few things. I won't go over too many things.
Go ahead.
But like I said, there's certain forums, like the legacy forums, they exist, but they are hidden from the main list for some reason. When you look at the page numbers from the actual System Wars forum overall board, you might see a thread going page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ... 4 for some reason. If you click on the last post option and you try clicking on that arrow to go to the last post, you will never go to the last post if the thread is over like 8 pages, which makes no sense because I want to go to the last post. I want to go there.
It takes you to the most current post, right?
It doesn't take you to the most current one. Like if you see System Wars the Lounge, right? There are 10 pages. If you hit the arrow, try and go into the last one, it'll take you to the 9th page instead. You can try it right now. There are things like you still can't start off from the last red post you have, like you could on the old System Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go on your phone, you cannot quote someone. You can only reply to someone, which is so annoying.
The mobile, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm saying this from 2 perspectives, as a community member who loves using the forums and also as a moderator who's supposed to be, checking things out on the forum and dealing with certain issues. The mobile features at the moment, and I don't know if there's any plans down the road to like make that a more robust type of feature, to use the mobile, but it is absolute garbage. I cannot. Yeah. You can't quote anyone. You can't post a picture. You can't
post a picture.
You can't do anything with mobile other than you can grab somebody's name, not quote, but you can reply. That's the only function you can do. That's why all my posts, I mean, I do 99% of my posting off my phone or off my iPad. And if I want to moderate, I can close down threads through my phone, but I can't ban a user or suspend a user. I can only do that through my iPad. So I've got to basically, in order to use the full tool set of mod tools, I have to do that off of the mobile site. So
and then if we're looking at the picture uploading, it was so much easier on the old forum where you wrote bracket image and then you wrote bracket end image. Now they added the option to load it off your computer, which we're all like, okay, that's cool. So I don't have to put the picture on TinyPic like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But now because you could take it off your own computer, they can't block certain sites having the URL. Like if someone wanted to pick a picture off like, I don't know, like Pornhub or something, you tried posting that in the HTML last time and they blocked the thing based on the URL. Now because you could actually post it from your computer, they can't block shit. So the idea that, it's cool, we can actually post images off a computer completely backfired on them. I almost said blackfired. Backfired on them. It's so annoying that they don't seem like they care until they get this knee-jerk reaction from, someone's posting big black dicks. We better treat our dwindling community well.
Well,
And then, like, if we add limits to new users, the System Wars is the only busy community in Gamespot right now. It'll only prevent new users from joining this forum, which is already going downhill.
I think we Eroica / Jeff, we kind of had this conversation earlier in the week. It's kind of a it's kind of a shame. I think Pedal the Metal is an amazing podcast. Don't get me wrong. We talk about Big Black. We talk about BBCs. We talk about drinking. We talk about
Animal had the good whiskey
Pornhub.
tonight. I can tell. Animal had the good whiskey tonight.
Hold on. If you're gonna, no, I shouldn't do this. If you're gonna drink, kids, drink Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, even though, like, Pedal the Metal is great, like, it's a shame because we heard it was like this tidal wave coming, and we all knew about the tidal wave, and a lot of us hung around, but a lot of us also left, and it's a shame because it just the new site people were. You could tell, like, I don't know what kind of feedback they took when we knew the new site was coming, but
They didn't take feedback. They
well,
had
but-
this
but that's my point.
bullshit beta
Well,
forum. They
that's-
had this
that's
beta
my point.
forum
That's
to,
my
like,
point.
test out our beta forum. We tested out. We gave them feedback, and they didn't listen to shit.
But at a point they have to. This is a cop out answer. They are a business and they have to make money.
It needed to change, though. I mean,
It
just because
absolutely.
it was so outdated. but-
Those forums. I mean, Blab. Those forums were the way they were since I joined in 2003. Like they needed a big overhaul, and I do agree that they didn't get the overhaul that they deserved. And it's sad. It's sad. All of us were like, we're gonna leave System Wars. None of us left. And if we did leave, we ended up coming back within a week.
I think people left because of the some. I don't know. I post on System Wars because of the people, and I'm not saying that as like.
Well, listen, we're like that's the thing. Like,
yeah, it's fun to talk to.
Like
to certain
you,
people.
like through the internet, you and Heil have come to my house. You know, you were at my house no less than 2 months ago, and we had an awesome time. Like, we went to Comic-Con podcast sometime in 2014. People.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shit.
Comic-Con cast is coming sometime in 2014, but it's just like
release it.
I met you. Release what? A bunch of clips? Fuck you.
I don't know.
No, but I met you. Like, you came over. You met my friends. It's like we went to Comic-Con. We drank a bunch of beers. We had halal food on the way home, and it was awesome, wasn't it? Oh yeah, you're laughing. You're
Sleeping
laughing.
in your race car bed was
Fuck
awesome.
You didn't sleep in a race car bed. I gave you an air mattress, you son of a bitch. I gave you an air mattress, and I laid in that bed right next.
That's so
hold on.
creepy.
That bed.
Listen,
I was in that bed. He was on the floor
so
over there.
creepy. This whole thing
He's on the floor
needs to
over
be
there.
edited.
Yeah, we need to move. We need to move
Yeah,
on.
we need to move on. Animal. And he's gone. So, Heil, what do you think?
Have you ever used a mobile forum?
Yeah.
You ever used a mobile forum, and now that they don't stop the quote chain at 4 people anymore, you have to scroll through basically nothing. You ever done that because they don't stop the quote chain at 4 views anymore?
Oh yeah.
So the quote chain can go on forever, and then you're just scrolling forever through
Oh yeah.
basically
You mean
nothing.
on the mobile site? Yeah, it's like.
On the mobile, it's the worst.
And it's paper thin. It's like a quote that's paper thin. That's like made for like one column of letters. And it goes.
Yeah, I think Heil and John was doing that the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. So Heil, what do you think? You think the changes are good? Ultimately, going to stop, or do you think that this user's going to ultimately just get bored?
I don't think he'll get bored because he's probably just wants to, I guess, in his mind, have some fun. So as long as he thinks he's getting in somebody's skin, so it's a form of trolling, right? So he's disrupting. So, but with Blabadon, they should have thought about some of this stuff, prior to bad things happening. But
Yeah.
the forums needed updated for sure. I don't know how they can stop behavior like that, especially if you can post pictures from your own computer. So the hosting sites is a good idea. So maybe they have to limit pictures being posted by people that have a X amount of months, but then, you know, maybe the guy can be patient. So I don't know, maybe they have to take that away and start banning, you know, certain sites, but then they start, you know, hosting pictures on, like you said, Tiny Pic or whatever. So it's really, yeah, it's really hard to ban those type of people. So I don't know. I just hope they can clean them up and find out who's doing it, and or if he gets bored, I guess. But it doesn't seem like it.
No. So
This is why you envy sites like NeoGAF and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're totally closed out, right? They've got a real good security protocol there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You got to have like special emails and shit.
You need a paid email address to join NeoGAF. Paid email, like a college email.
It still took me like 6 months to get in. I never post there, but
wow.
Yeah, there's something. So I don't know. Hopefully it changes. Well,
can I ask a question real quick? Like to kind of shift focus a little bit.
Yeah, because I want to get on to games.
We talked enough about Big Black Cocks. What's everyone playing? Like Heil, what are you playing?
I'm playing the same games: Assassin's Creed Unity, Far Cry 4, and I finished Sunset Overdrive, the main quest. So I'll be going back and trying to get the.
How did you feel about the ending of Sunset Overdrive? Because I beat it as well, and I kind of like the little twist they had at the end there.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. It went on about one level too many, but it was still cool.
Good game. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up from the
Oh,
Heil.
yeah. It was excellent.
I got sick of an Insomniac game.
Replayability? How would you rate replayability? Because once I beat it, I kind of never. I went back for a few challenges.
Yeah, there's no difficulty level, so I suppose you could go to challenges and try and increase your score there, but probably limited.
What's 12 to 15 hours?
I'd say
somewhere.
Yeah, I spent like 20 hours on it.
Just for the main quest. If you clear everything, probably 20.
It feels really short. Like, I don't know, a lot of open world games have felt really short to me lately.
That's how Infamous Second Son to me. I felt like right when that game was getting to the point where I was like rocking and rolling and really enjoying all the powers and the flow of the game, it's like, okay, we're done.
That's not what happened in Sunset Overdrive. In Sunset Overdrive, I was like, this is 1 or 2 missions too long. In Infamous, I felt like it started to drag. Far Cry 4, I feel like it's starting to drag a little bit.
Interesting.
That's just me, though. Blabadon, what are you playing? Oh, by the way, Blab, I'm up to one of the last bosses in Persona 4 Golden.
Nice. Then start Spelunky afterwards.
It's what you cut out.
Start Spelunky afterwards.
I've already started Spelunky.
I did.
Get good at Spelunky.
No, like, I'm so proud of myself. After like 45 hours, I'm almost done with Persona 4 Golden. Almost there. Almost there.
You're getting there. Yeah, you're getting there.
So what are you playing, Blab?
Yeah, what are you playing, man?
I am not playing much right now. I played a bunch of Shadow of Mordor recently.
You told me you didn't like that game too much.
I got more into it later.
So you've gotten into it since we last spoke.
Yeah, based on I mean, it's one of those games where you have to create your own fun a little too much for me. Where like you have to really go out of your way to create your own fun, because ultimately, like, it reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus, and not in a good way, because there's so much empty land. Or like maybe a more relevant comparison, you ever played Ocarina of Time? You guys play Ocarina of Time, right?
Yeah, of course.
It feels like Hyrule Field, like a lot of the gameplay, where like you're just running across empty.
Yeah, it's really barren.
Empty nothingness, and you're trying to hope for like, I hope I find a boss, because those people are bosses, right? Anyone the war chiefs, any one of the captains are mini bosses, and that's the most intriguing part in itself. That technically you can make anyone a boss by just being shit in a fight. So that's where I found my own enjoyment in that game. But otherwise, not too much.
How do you
I
feel
played
about
a bit of Wind Waker HD. That's fucking gorgeous.
Oh yeah, you got your Wii U like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't hear him. He's
played-
cut now.
Yeah, yeah. Wind
Played
Waker.
Smash, Bayonetta, Wind Waker.
I
Am I
tell
cutting
you,
out?
fuck it. Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit. Wind Waker HD. As much as I love that game, again, I fell off right at the Triforce Quest.
I thought they got rid of the Triforce Quest.
No, the Triforce Quest is still in there, but it's shortened. It's tightened down. And I still fell apart at the Triforce Quest.
You mean like you
it's
lost
3
interest?
instead of 7 now, yeah.
Yeah, I lost interest. I was like, fuck this. I was like, I'm not gonna, because I played most of Wind Waker HD in my bed at night. Like I would play like an. Well, no, listen, Eroica, when you were here when you were here a year ago.
Stop talking about being in your bed when I was there.
No.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
No. What I'm saying is when we did last year's Comic-Con podcast. You got to play. I showed you my Wii U.
Yeah, man, it was. You showed me your Wii U in bed.
I showed you my Wii U in bed. No, but what I'm saying is, it's a
beautiful love.
It's a great console. The Wii U is a great console for some games like Wind Waker HD or Mass Effect to lay in bed and play those games. It's kind of like that. Like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna relax in bed. I mean, for me at least, and. The thing was, I was putting so much time into Wind Waker, but that Triforce Quest still was like, eh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Eroica? What are you playing?
Yeah, man. What do you? Oh, wait.
I got all sorts of things going on right now.
Did somebody help you buy something?
Yes, I got Diablo 3. I'm very excited about that. Game's very accessible. Hyle's been begging me forever, and Animal was kind enough to share
By the way, I want to shit on you. You were like, oh, I'm working late yesterday, and I wanted to play with you, and you were on, and you totally didn't join me.
That is not true. My kids were playing.
Oh, your kids were playing your level. Your kids were playing your level 17 monk.
Yes, my kids were playing on my. They signed in last night and were playing on my Diablo. Yes.
Okay. I'll take it at face value.
But yeah, no, we've been I've been playing a lot of that over the past couple days. It took a little long for the co-op aspect to download, but I did get a couple rounds, and I let my kids play it. I mean, I know it's rated M. I feel kind of like a POS for doing that, but
that's what I wanted to ask you.
In all honesty, it's not like I
it's
honestly,
not super violent, right?
There's not even one. It's like Halo violent. You know what I mean? Like there's not one thing that stands out as you going, well, my kids see that on fucking Saturday morning cartoons. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing in that game that I've seen anyways up to this point that makes me like, oh my god, it's corrupting my kids. So, but
it's fantasy violence. It's just good old fantasy violence.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Other than that, I'm finishing up Assassin's Creed Unity. I'm on what did I just do? I want to say the beginning of sequence 11. I think there's 12 sequences in the game, and I'm about halfway through sequence 11. So I'll probably finish that game up by the end of the weekend. Actually, what I'm trying to do right now, because I went through and I did all the Nostradamus puzzles, and I unlocked the outfit of Thomas. So I have the really cool old blue old-looking Altair outfit right now that I'm rolling around the city in, and I'm just going to do all the main missions, finish it, and then I'm going to continue leveling my character and do all the assassin missions and everything else. But
you get all the special. Did you get the special armor then? All 18 of those?
Yes, I got all 18 of those.
Wait, 18 what?
I did all the 18 glyphs, the Nostradamus glyphs.
Did you have to get the help for that then?
Say again?
Did you get the online help for them?
Absolutely. I used the guide. I actually, if I'm being honest with you, what they were trying to do in Assassin's Creed Unity was recreate a little bit of the magic from Assassin's Creed 2, where you had to find these glyphs. But in Assassin's Creed 2, you found the glyphs which are basically like ancient symbols that you can only see with eagle vision on certain structures. But in Assassin's Creed 2, it threw you into like a really cool historical, like 3-tiered puzzle thing where you had to, look at certain historical paintings and documents and find, Templar writings in them and things like that. That was up to this day is still my favorite side puzzle that they've ever put in an Assassin's Creed game, were the Assassin's Creed 2 glyphs. But in Assassin's Creed,
I'm sorry. What were those called again? Because they, spoiler, like 10 years old, Blab. They were the Adam and Eve thing that they were.
What happened is
what were they called originally?
They were called glyphs.
They were just called glyphs.
Well, yeah, they were glyphs, and what it was that you unlocked every time you solved another glyph, you unlocked a 2-second clip of what they called. It was called the truth.
Yeah, the truth. The truth.
If you pieced them all together, it played like a 30-second long clip of something that appeared to be Adam and Eve, and like the backstory to the apple and all the other cool like original lore to Assassin's Creed, when you thought it could actually be kind of neat, and it turned into a complete fucking freak show.
They were the original. They were the original assassins, Adam and Eve.
Yeah, well, that's what they were leading towards. But
man, how'd they fuck up that series?
I don't know. The story's garbage, but like at this point, the game ended up with the last patch that came out this week. The frame rate still stutters, but the game is a lot more playable than it was in the opening weeks. But outside of that, I've been getting back into the Vita. I'm finishing the second half of Miramasa Rebirth, which is
so good.
Awesome. I love that game. So approachable, so fun. I'm doing Spelunky. I've really been kind of going through a lot of Vita stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. Was that everybody? Did everyone say what they were playing?
I didn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Thanks for asking. Like I told Blab, I'm finishing. I'm at the end of Persona 4 Golden, which is one of the biggest reliefs of my life. Persona 4 Golden, I don't want to call it one of those games that's a job, but it's one of the best JRPGs I've ever played. It's a really great like episode of Scooby-Doo that's been like what am I gonna say, like Japanised. No, but it's like a really great Scooby-Doo episode that's been really just drawn out with all the gameplay and stuff, and I think a lot of the mechanics and fusing personas are really awesome. I'm at the end of Far Cry 4. I have like 3 missions left, and you and I helped you get Diablo 3 because you're like, oh, is it worth it? I was like, dude, just wait and see. And
I knew it was worth it.
You asked me if it was worth it.
Dragging my heels, man. I'm dragging my heels.
I know you're dragging your heels, but Diablo 3 is one of the best co-op games, co-op / even single player games I've ever played.
It's very easy.
No. Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, adventure mode, your ultimate goal, like if you were a regimented gamer, right? Your ultimate goal is to be able to play a mode called Torment 6 because they have they have easy, normal, hard, nightmare, Torment 1 through 6. Is that right, Heil? Torment?
Sounds
Heil?
about right.
So what the Torment modes do is that's your ultimate goal, is to be able to play through Torment 6. It's 6 levels of difficulty through one difficulty. And it gets insane. So you have to go through Torment 1, Torment 2, Torment 3, blah, blah, blah. And you have to spec out your character. The thing is, it's just like by the time you're doing Torment 6, you could easily put 200 hours into Diablo and say, okay, I want to really hit this goal. But you don't have to. Diablo's one of those games where once you say I'm satiated with where I'm at, it's very good. I don't want to compare it to Destiny, but Diablo 3 is a loot game. And like I told you earlier this week, vanilla Diablo was really good, but it was really hard. By Eroica.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here.
I saw you get it from
I
your
stopped
chair.
listening to you about 5 minutes ago.
I saw you get it from your chair. No, Diablo 3 is a really good game, and you set your own goals, and the loot is nonstop. Like, oh, and thank you for the quiver gift. I saw you sent that to me.
Oh, you're welcome. I sent you and Heil a gift.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's good. I just saw that there was some thing in there, and they said this gift is intended for Heil, and I was like, all right, we'll send it to him. Shit, man.
It's weird because that isn't in the PC version. It seems to only be in the console version, where if you kill a boss, like an act boss or any kind of mini boss, it drops a gift for a friend on your friends list, which I think is really interesting. I think it's a neat concept.
That's cool. Nice. So let's move along. I want to get to some other things. Blab had a topic that he wanted to bring up today, and since we spent a lot of time talking about the BBC and we're getting into games now, I want to get to Blab's topic. So Blab, what do you got for us tonight?
Can you guys hear me first of all? My Wi-Fi is being really bad right now.
Yes.
Yeah, you pop in and out, but we'll let you know if we didn't hear you.
Okay. Why don't you introduce them to 20 years of PlayStation, Heil? This is you, man.
What's that? Introduce what?
20 years
It's a
of
Heil kind of
PlayStation.
thing.
Yeah, I mean they're celebrating 20 years of PlayStation with a big event this weekend. Hopefully they'll show some games.
Yeah, I think with my Wi-Fi being as bad as it is, why doesn't Heil talk about it?
All right, go for it.
Yeah, the big event this weekend with the celebration of 20 years of PlayStation and all games. So there was, I don't personally think there's going to be anything earth-shattering out of it. They might show some Uncharted 4 gameplay. They might show a few little things here and there, but I don't expect anything like megaton-wise. They announced a limited edition console, 12,300. Gray with the camera. I think it's $500. It'll be almost impossible to get one of those. Peter Moore said he's bringing some goodies to the event. Rumor that Respawn is supposed to be there, so there's talk maybe possibly either Titanfall 2 or another game that Respawn is working on. I can't remember who brought up a picture of the Jax that they brought up.
What's that?
Or Bandicots. There was a post of, do you remember this guy? So there's talks that it's going to be like remasters or possibly a new game. So it's just a nice event, 3 days of celebrating them being in business with the Sony brand and the games that help them get there.
I really like that 20 years of PlayStation PS4. I thought that was really cool. If when you turn on the PS4, it's the original PS1.
I still remember too. My first memory is seeing the PS1 traveling. I can't remember where it was at. I think it was. Hold on a second.
I was going over it the other day. I was looking at the release date, and the release date of the PlayStation 1 was like December of 1994.
Yeah.
And I was dying laughing because I'm like, oh my God, I was 16 years old. I had a license. Like, I'm like.
Yeah, I think I was in like I can't remember. I want to say I was in Canada, and I seen it in a retail store, and it was really expensive at the time. I should look it up. It was, at that time it was still like $300 to $400, and the Battle Arena Toshiba was being played, and I never seen anything like it because of the the rich CD graphics that were on there. And then I got one I think with Mortal Kombat, whichever one came out with the PlayStation 1. But good time. So lots of good games. I never did get the PS2, so it'd be interesting to see if they make some type of Bandicoot thing. Champ, I know, says they sucks, but I'd like to try it, just to try it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited. Whenever they do these conventions or whatever, these big blowouts or celebrate something, it's like, I almost feel like they hype it up, and a lot of times it's kind of like they get us thinking that there's going to be some announcement, and then there's nothing. But from what I saw today, the Peter Moore stuff looked like they were ready to really kind of shower some cool things down on that. So I'm hoping for some cool stuff. I'd love Titanfall to come to PS4. It's one less reason I'd need to go buy an Xbox One. Anyone there?
Yeah, Blabber should comment now. You want to comment on that, Blabber? Should we move on?
I don't even know if Blab's still there.
I'm
He's got the worst Wi-Fi.
I'm just here. I'll represent the handheld side because I did play a lot of PlayStation handhelds. That is where I was introduced to many PlayStation series. If we look back, we can see games like Medieval, Ape Escape, Pursuit Force, just all sorts of eclectic PlayStation franchises. God knows what else, like Loco Roco, Patapon, just making their debuts on handheld. So PlayStation, huge impact, many different methods of making that impact. 20 years, congrats to them.
Mm. Yeah, certainly. I mean, they're definitely they've become a staple of the video game. I think I think people have a lot of affinity for PlayStation. I think that whatever they got a lot of good franchises coming out over the next few years, and hopefully they make something better of this gen than what we've seen so far. Because my God, I don't even know that I have a game of the year this year, considering what this year looked like from my point of view. But
Dark Souls 2.
yeah, I haven't played it yet. I'm just gonna get it on PS4. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's kind of cool. The PlayStation 1 was the generation, that N64, that I actually didn't. I had a PlayStation 1 at the beginning of the generation, and I stopped playing it before a lot of the heavy hitters came out. And I didn't play Final Fantasy 7 on it. I got back into it when like Metal Gear Solid came out, and a lot of Mortal Kombat tournaments in my dorm room in college, and for me, it was the generation I kind of skipped because I was in college and I was just too knuckled down with my work. But I don't know. Good stuff. Good stuff. So what are we talking for game of the year? Well, you guys. We would definitely want to do a show. So I don't want to have you guys give away your games of the year. But do you even have one?
I do.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think Sunset Overdrive because I really like Insomniac. So.
Well, it wasn't
so
broken.
far,
it wasn't broken, so that was.
It wasn't
good.
broke. Co-op worked, or not co-op, but the multiplayer worked right. You got into matches right away.
Yeah, of course. So did Destiny. Destiny worked right at launch too, but we know that's not the game.
That might be some people's, even though some people didn't like it. I've heard other people really like it, so it could be.
Dumped a lot of time in it. The gameplay's outstanding. It's a fun game to play, but it's completely vapid in game design. I mean, there's no soul there at all. At least I don't think. You play it yet, Blab?
I'm holding out on Destiny on purpose.
You're just gonna wait for it to get like 5 years deep and then get it.
I'm gonna wait for it to get 5 years deep. Wait for them to relabel it Halo something, and then I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but until then, I mean, I don't know. Destiny seems like it's fixing patches, especially with things like its exotic guns and all that. But at the same time, I don't know. It released in such a broken state in some ways, like. Just the loot system and all the way I hear from my friends, I don't want to get into that.
You end up playing Destiny post level 20. It's just a crapshoot, and we've gone over this before, but Bungie had come out and said that you really it's a slow burn. You've got to get to level 20 before the game starts becoming fun, when in fact the game is only fun until you get to level 20, and then you end up just grinding out raids and strikes and all these other repeat events, the things you've already played. You just keep playing them over and over and over, the same levels, the same designs. Maybe here and there they mix something up, but it's what the boss is going to be like, where the waves are coming from. So it's basically like a game that what's coming ahead of you, and you just keep playing it over and over again with the hope that you might get one piece of legendary armor to drop, or one rare piece of armor to drop that you can continue to upgrade your character with. But there is no carrot at the end of the stick other than just getting new gear. So like I've gotten to a point in Destiny now where I'm a level 28, the peak is 30. I'm at the point where I have like one. I can't even remember the name of it's the orange armor. I have an orange piece of armor, which is like the most elite piece of armor you can get equipped. But they even hamstrung themselves in this design in that you can't have more than one elite piece of armor equipped at a time. So now I've got like all legendary armor and one elite armor. So I've basically maxed out. So there's really no point in me continuing unless I just want to nickel and dime the game until I get to level 30, which has no weight into the enjoyment of the game at all. So it really, really horrible design. But I'd be damned to say that the game is one of the most fluid first-person shooters on console I've played in a very long time. It's a fun game to play. But
let me post a GIF for you about.
Let's see.
Tell me how you like this. If this feels very Destiny.
Wait, what I missed?
We're posting GIFs about Destiny. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, no, that is it, man. That is it. I just want that fucking exotic. Yeah, that's totally it. And the worst part is that the exotic that I got an exotic rocket launcher off of a random drop. So that was cool. But the piece of armor that I got came from, they have this mysterious guy, this guy that shows up.
Xur.
Yeah, he shows up on the I keep want to say the Citadel. Yeah, he shows up at the your main hub in a random place every weekend, and if you've accumulated enough random elements throughout the course of the week, strange coins, things like that, then you can purchase something. So that's the only way I was able to get an exotic piece of armor. But like I said, now I look at all my categories and it's purple, 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 and one orange, and I'm like, all right, well now what do I do? There's no unless Animal sends me a PM and he's like, "Hey, let's play some Destiny." There's no point in me playing Destiny anymore.
That's what's so awesome about Diablo, because you can, I put that down for like, I don't know, a couple months while I played some other games, and then I got right back into it. It's just like you can just go in and just have fun, clear a few dungeons, a few levels, and it's like, always build up. So yeah, I probably put more hours in that game than anything else this year.
Yeah,
Diablo's a constant ramp, which is really nice. But do you know, real quick, just Destiny, they pre-patch it before the Darkness Below next week, and they actually, the materials you needed to upgrade your items.
Yeah,
they started selling them. You can buy them now.
Oh, no kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Well, that's smart. That's a step in the right direction, because I'm at this point, unless I want to grind for literally no other reason than to have a 9 instead of an 8 in my level 20s, then I basically just have to grind the game out until I can get a whole shit ton of supplies, which are not easily found.
Destiny sucked.
Yeah, it was not the game that they presented to us in its grand scale and its ambition. It's actually an incredibly shallow game. But again, just like the battered, what was it, Blab? The battered wife? I just can't keep going.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Keeps coming back because she wants an exotic.
Yeah, I mean, it's good lord. But anyways. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, do you have Blab? You don't have to reveal your game of the year, but do you?
How about this? Let's talk about, even if they're not for 2014, the 5 best games you've played this year.
Oof. You go first.
Okay. The 5 best games I played: Binary Domain, just beat that. Fantastic third-person shooter. If you want a third-person shooter that's different from most other games, play Binary Domain.
That came out this year.
No,
that didn't. I'm saying the 5 best games you played this year.
Okay.
That might this
I was gonna say I played that game this
year.
year.
We can have a different podcast for best game of the year.
Sure.
So I put Binary Domain. I probably put Rogue Legacy on that list.
Of course you would.
That's tight.
I put Spelunky on that list. And then for number 2 and 1, I don't know. I put Castlevania Symphony of the Night because that's a fantastic game, even from 1997. Best game I played this year was still Tearaway. If you own a Vita, please play Tearaway because that's a fantastic.
I'm gonna call bullshit. Like, was it your first time playing Symphony of the Night?
No, I bought Symphony of the Night on sale this year.
Okay, then I'll let you have that one.
That game's still awesome. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What are your 5 best games, Eroica?
Wow. God, I'm gonna try to think off the top of my head. Rogue Legacy, definite. Probably number 1. that I played this year, just because I dumped so much
Why
time.
didn't you just send a piece of yourself in the mail to the developer?
I might.
You did not stop going. I was on my road trip, and you were giving me tips on how to play that game. That's how intense it was.
I still am really into Rogue Legacy. I love that game. I'm hoping
It's an amazing game.
Cellar Door Games is on record saying that they're adamant about being an indie studio that never makes a sequel, but that they've said that with the success of Rogue Legacy, they're willing to amend that rule that they have with themselves in order to have a sequel. So that's not confirmation that they're going to do it, but they said that they've actually talked about it. So I'd love to see another Rogue Legacy. I think the concept is great. I think that the gameplay speaks for itself. I would challenge just about anybody to tell me a more responsive 2D side-scrolling game than Rogue Legacy was this year. It's fast, it's fluid,
Spelunky.
No way, dude. No way. Spelunky might have more depth in its gameplay, and I would agree with that. There's more things that you need to think about and manage and going on, where Rogue Legacy is a little bit more of like a numbskull type of game. Like, you are literally doing the same thing, running around this castle and busting up enemies. But as far as responsive gameplay is concerned, Rogue Legacy scratched every itch for me. But
Are we only talking about this year? Because games
Well,
like
you
Super
just
Meat
said
Boy
we
still exist.
weren't talking about this year.
No, I'm
You were
talking
like,
about
well,
Rogue Legacy.
what are your
strictly.
five best games of the year, even if they're not from this
well,
year?
I dumped a shit ton of time into Rogue Legacy. So if I didn't say that game was one of the best 5 games I played this year, it would be false. Not that just because I spent I spent over 40 hours in Destiny, and I'm sitting here bashing it, but I think you know what I mean. But definitely that. I'm gonna say that Persona. I played Persona 4 this year. Is awesome.
How many hours did you play? How far in are you?
I'm about 18 hours into it. I did get sidetracked, but as you said, it's a Scooby-Doo episode. There are few games that I've seen even approach the level of polish, style, and flair that game presents. It is like
So
it
good.
it grabs you by the scruff of the neck and pulls you into its world, and you love it, every ounce of it. So I'm all about. Charizard recommended that to me, and I'm definitely, that was a good recommendation, because that game is pretty badass. Other than that, I'm going to give Muramasa Rebirth a nod, because I've dumped, now I'm, for a Vita game too, I'm up over 25 hours in that game. About halfway through the second half of the game. For those of you who don't know, it's a multi-protagonist. I kind of likened it, Blab and I were talking about it in the Pedal to the Metal thread the other day, I likened it to like maybe of a little bit of a brighter, cheerier version of The Dishwasher, Vampire Smile, where you've got the multi-protagonist, 2 separate kind of things going on, but really, really good game. I recommend it to anybody. I think the game actually came out in 2009 on the Wii.
Yeah, it did. No, I think it was. Let me see here. It might have been 2010,
It was
2011.
reimagined though for the Vita, and the hand-drawn graphics on that OLED screen are fucking gorgeous, man.
Oh,
Miramasa is a beautiful game. So there's that. I think that's 3 games. 4 and 5. I'm gonna give a nod to, as much as I do sometimes bash this game, I'm gonna give a nod to Second Son. No, never to Watch Dogs. I fucking hate Watch Dogs.
Second Son's a good game.
Second Son, all it is a good game. It's not a great game, but it's a game that visually was beautiful, and I give Sucker Punch a nod, because in an industry that right now has me very disappointed in the products that they're putting out on a regular basis, being buggy and broken and less than stellar. Second Son was a game that dropped, and while it's not a great game, it's a really, really good game, and everything operates the way it's supposed to work. It's beautiful. The frame rates are crisp, and it's a game that makes you feel like your PlayStation 4 money that you spent was actually worth the investment. Where games like Unity don't make me feel that way. Games like Watch Dogs certainly don't make me feel that way.
What about Metro 2033 Redux?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that a game that came out last gen that's just up-res. And granted, I know they did a lot more to Metro than just
they did
up-res.
a lot more than just up-res.
But no, I mean, even The Last of Us remastered. I'm not going to say that my PlayStation 4 was worth the money investment when I'm sitting here holding The Last of Us on PS3 that I've beaten twice. I mean, yeah, I get the 60 frames a second and the up-res and all that stuff is great, but like a game like Second Son made me feel like, all right, I bought a PlayStation 4 to play games like this, and
I'm sorry.
It delivered somewhat.
I'm sorry. I hate that fucking argument that, like, oh, there are games, like, we'll get back on track real quick. Like, I hate that, like, well, did I really justify my $400 purchase? Like, were there games that were really good? Yes, there were. Like, there were a ton of great games. Like, listen, I hate to say it. No, you know what? I don't hate to say it. I don't hate to say this. The PS4 right now is like a little bit of a step behind the 360 of last generation. It's got the better multiplats.
Oh.
What do you mean no? It's got a better party system right now.
The first year
It's got
of
a
the
better
Xbox
party. It's got a
360
better
was
party system.
Far better than the first year of the
But I'm
PlayStation
just saying,
4.
in the general scope of what's going on right now, the better multiplats, it doesn't. I would say that the PS4. I'm not saying the PS4 has the exclusives. Relax. But I'm saying is you can't say that the PS4 doesn't have games, because I have played so many good games on the PS4 this year. Like Lords of the Fallen, Infamous Second Son, MLB 2014, Wolfenstein, Transistor.
All good games, nothing great.
I'm not saying I never said anything great came out yet. But you know what the problem is? I feel like we rolled way too easily from last gen into this gen, expecting way too much. And I feel like that's a little bit of a problem right now. Like, everyone's like, well, the Xbox One has great games. Yeah, the Xbox One had 2 good games this fall, Forza and Sunset Overdrive. And as much as I love Sunset Overdrive, don't get me wrong, it's a great game. But it's your typical open world game where once you're done, like, you hardly go back. Yeah, it's colorful, it's stylish, and what have you. But the problem is, the transition was a little too smooth. So I feel like we went into this generation saying to ourselves, well, all the great games are going to come in the first year, like, where everything's going so smoothly. But that's not the case. Like, I think 2014, as good as a year as it was with Shadows of Mordor and Wolfenstein and Sniper Elite 3. Yeah, I know. Laugh at me, people. I said Sniper Elite 3.
That came kind of sick.
We weren't ready. Like, I feel like the next gen's consoles should have launched this fall. They should have launched last month. They shouldn't have launched a year ago.
The problem is this, and I want to hear what Heil and Blab think about it, but the problem, see, I'm going to disagree with you, and here's why. You're talking about a smooth transition from gen to gen, and like
no. We didn't have the smooth transition. Right, what I'm saying is we had the illusion of a smooth transition.
This is the problem. This is the problem in 2014 for me. The problem is that, and I know why they did it. They did it for money, which is what this industry has become all about. Fuck the fans. Fuck the quality products. It's about making money, and I get it.
It's always been about money.
It's their businesses. It's always about money.
All right, fine. Here's my problem. Here's my problem. This whole year has been about multi-plat games in cross generation.
Yeah.
It's been about dragging fucking carcasses from Gen 7 into Gen 8, or it's been about releasing new games that are catered to Gen 7 and to Gen 8. That's why 2014 sucks. It's been the worst year of gaming of my fucking life. I can't stand 2014. And there's no game that I played this entire year that stood out as being an excellent game outside of a couple indies.
I agree. I agree.
What are you talking about?
Shut up. Diablo 3 is so old. It's a Gen 7 game.
It's a Gen 7 game.
No, it's not. Now it's the expansion.
No, yeah, it is. Reaper of Souls came out When did Reaper of Souls come out?
This year, thanks.
Yeah, but still, Heil, like the game was out. They were
Still
fixing
Heil's
the
right.
game.
Yes, go on.
No, you're not right because Diablo was out and being fixed way before the PS4 and Xbox One version came out.
When did it come out?
Reaper of Souls?
For the PS4, when did it come out?
March 25th, 2014.
Oh, okay. 2014.
Yeah,
Oh,
it came.
Continue.
You're not going to
That's
sell
not.
that.
That's
Heil.
not the point I'm making, Heil. The point I'm making is that Diablo 3 was already on a very steady course and was like that before. Like I was playing the game you played months before the PS4 and Xbox One release.
I don't care.
It
When it come out
doesn't
for
matter.
PS4.
It happened already. It happened. You can't say
On
that-
PS4, it didn't.
Yeah, but it happened. It happened
On
on
PS4?
some level. Who gives a shit where it happened? It happened.
Yeah, but you guys
You're talking about consoles.
You're arguing semantics, though. I mean, like, I mean, I get what Heil's saying. The problem, though, is that
Diablo 3 is nonetheless a Gen 7 game.
Right. People can rave all they want about The Last of Us and PS4, but The Last of Us is
Came
on
out
PS3.
last year. It came out last year.
It's a gen old, and that's what I'm talking about. Where is the inspiring reason for me to say I need a PlayStation 4? Because there isn't one. There isn't one for the. I mean, I can't say for the Xbox One. I haven't
There's
played.
definitely not one for the Xbox One.
Well, you know what, dude? Sunset Overdrive is a good game, and
but Sunset Overdrive can be good, but it's not like I wouldn't rush out to be like, oh, I need to buy an Xbox One for Sunset Overdrive. Like,
okay,
no.
I agree with that. But I mean, and the same thing, you could throw Second Son out there. So
No,
PS4
you can throw plenty of PS4. Like the launch games for both systems were shit.
MLB The Show came out this year.
MLB The Show could be a reason, but it's also out on PS3, isn't it?
and Vita.
And Vita.
I
There's
don't give a fuck. It's PS4.
But it doesn't matter if the same game exists. If the same game
Go home,
exists
you're
on.
drunk.
I am at home and I am drunk. But regardless, if the same game exists on other platforms.
Who cares if it's a fucking multi-plat? You can buy it for the PS4 and play
But
it.
you can buy it for the PS3. You don't need to drop $400 to play a game that exists on another platform just because it's shinier and runs a couple frames more.
Well, you bought one, so don't you look dumb?
Yeah,
for
I
buying
bought a
one.
PS4 because I wanted to play all the awesome next-gen games, which I agree with Eroica haven't really come. There have been one or two next-gen games that have really been earning of the title. Like, I feel like the only games that have been earning of the title are Sunset Overdrive, and on the PS4, to say nonetheless, Lords of the Fallen, though that's out on PC. Like, the PC is better than the consoles right now. There's
No, it's
no
not. Never
denying
has
that.
been.
What?
I just denied it. No, it's not.
Yeah, because you have Sony's bell end in your fucking mouth. Like, you would rather sit there and suck Sony's cock.
BBC. Blab.
What are you talking about?
Is there a
Animal
compelling
being wrong.
is there a compelling
Oh
reason
my
to
God.
own any next gen console right now?
Bayonetta
future.
2, Wii U.
The future. Yeah, I mean, outside the Wii U, which there is if you don't have shit taste like Heil, there is, and that's called the future. And that means you're waiting for Bloodborne, you're waiting for Metal Gear, which is I know coming out on PC now. You're waiting for Persona 5. For me, that's why I bought my PS4. It was cheap when I bought it, and I saw the future that it had. So you might not be able to buy it right now. And the thing is, I'm not buying an Xbox One or a PC soon. So the PS4 is my big, next gen console next to my Wii U. Actually, right now it's just the thing I use to prop up my Wii U a little more. But that's what it is. If for a lot of us who aren't buying Xbox Ones or PCs, this is the cheaper method of getting all those next gen games that we want.
Yep. That's
and
what I'm doing.
Yeah, and then the thing is, I got mine cheap. I got mine for under $300. So
That's
Yeah.
good.
I'm like, yeah.
Like,
Might as well.
I'm not trying to say that the PlayStation 4 isn't without it's not without its potential and its promise, like you said, down the road. It's that right now, today, December 4th, 2014, we just existed in a year of gaming where the PlayStation 4 offered standalone software that was not as compelling as I was hoping for a full year of next-gen gaming. There are a few games that I enjoyed. I enjoyed the Transistors. I enjoyed some of those indies that came out.
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor is it's a multi-gen game, man. It's an
No,
Xbox
but
360.
no.
You do not play Shadows of Mordor on the old system.
They ripped out a lot of the system.
I know.
They ripped out. I can't in good faith call Shadows
There's
of
no
Mordor.
There's another system on the matter. Anyway, go ahead.
Kyle, why are you here?
I can't call Shadows of Mordor. I can't say that you can compare it to the last gen. What's happening?
I don't know, but so I understand that yeah, the guts, the heart and soul,
They
great
ripped it
part of
out.
Shadow of Mordor was ripped out, but it's still a game that exists on the other consoles.
No,
and
it
yes, it's
doesn't.
different.
Not in the same. It doesn't exist in the same form.
Okay.
You can't call them the same game when there's a major component missing.
Eh,
You
You're wrong.
can't.
Anyway, let's go.
I'm sorry.
know.
What was that?
it's debatable. I don't know.
Listen, I'm
But
sorry. Like both systems are great, but Eroica's right. There's nothing compelling to own on either system right now. Yeah, there have been a lot of fun games, but
Right.
there's nothing to say. I need that PS4. I need that Xbox One.
For me, the Halo, because I grew up with Halo. That was gonna be my
How old are you,
compelling
Blab?
reason. What?
How old are you?
27.
You're my age. I grew up with
Yeah.
Halo 2, and it's a shame.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that was my thing. You know, like the fact that I could restart all those 4-player split screen, like, you know, up res, up redone, all that. That was my, like, I need to do this with Halo. That was almost gonna be my reason getting an Xbox One. But I mean,
when it's
for me, a lot of it was continuity. I have a PlayStation profile I've been using since 2008. Right, I have cross-buy PS3 and PS Vita games. I have remote play via my Vita. I already have a Vita. So, I mean, that's what ultimately led me towards the PS4. I'm like,
Right.
I have Halo right now on the Xbox One, granted. But if I look down the line, like, what would I want down the line?
Yeah.
Quantum Break.
That's
yeah, what's that?
like
What's
the-
that? 4 years away?
Yeah, knowing Remedy, and it'll come on PC 2 years later.
Yeah, 6 months later. Blab, you and I are very similar in our approaches, I think, because I'm finding that my satisfaction with gaming right now actually revolves more around the things I'm able to do with my Vita than necessarily a lot of the standalone stuff. You know, just being in the Sony, the one brilliant thing that Sony did, and I don't even know that they realize it with the way that they advertise the Vita, which is they don't, is that they created an amazing ecosystem to be under the PlayStation umbrella. There is no doubt about it. It's one feature that both Nintendo and Microsoft cannot touch.
and PC.
And PC is that I can go from playing my Rogue Legacy game on my Vita in the car, okay, on a long trip, to get out, to get to Wi-Fi, and to kick that right over to my PlayStation 3 up in my living room. And when my wife yells at me and tells me to get out of the living room, I can go downstairs to my PlayStation 4 and continue playing the same exact Rogue Legacy game. Everywhere I go, my PlayStation games are with me. And I that is, to me, the benefit of being under that PlayStation umbrella at the moment. It's not the games, it's not the software, because like I said, I mean, I can there's many places you can draw the software in, and I'm the same as Blab in the sense that I'm doing next gen gaming right now on the PlayStation 4. I did my little stint with PC gaming over the past couple years. It didn't work out because, you know what, I maybe I wasn't the most researched buyer, and I get that. I'm not bagging on PC gaming, because shit, man, I had so much fun doing Killing Floor and Payday and like all the Magica and shit like that, a lot of the B-Pool games and stuff. But like at the end of the day, I'm ready to say, I'm ready for the game to be delivered that makes me go, this could not have been done last gen, and I have yet to see that game.
We'll get that. I think we'll honestly get that in next June, then when Batman releases, because that's not being released for Gen
Yeah.
7 consoles, just PC, PS4, Xbox One. So
But doesn't it scare you, Kyle? This question directed right at you. Doesn't it scare you that Ubisoft talked about how they were going to completely revamp and make the next gen Assassin's Creed, and talked about they're on record saying that they were disappointed that Gen 7 went on so long because they had all these ideas and they want to blow the box out with Gen 8, and that they're being held back with all their creative ideas, and then they release Assassin's Creed Unity, which not only was it broken, but it's just another fucking Assassin's Creed game.
no, I would disagree with you on that. I didn't play them all like you, so I'm not as franchise fatigued.
Yeah.
But as far as the architecture inside, or as far as outside and inside, all those buildings, I mean, I shouldn't say all the buildings. Majority of the buildings you can go into, and they're highly detailed.
So what you're saying is we have a more detailed map. That's Ubisoft.
And a more densely populated area. When you're walking down the streets, it actually feels alive.
But
But
it doesn't feel alive when it's going 20 frames a second.
And that actually draws from the gameplay as far. I mean, there are pockets where, like, I just did the mission. I'm not going to give it away, but I'm in sequence 11 towards the end. But there's a very highly densely populated area, and I just walked through this massive crowd. I had to do this assassination, and it was a really kind of cool mission to see that many individual things moving on the screen at the same time. Like, it was a little bit breathtaking, but at the same time, I'm sitting there going, I'm still just playing a regular old Assassin's Creed game. I get the same feeling I get from Unity that I got when I was playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Revelation.
Well, it's the same. It is the same game as Assassin's Creed game. You're not expecting different mechanics.
Well, in a way, I mean, why can't I expect that? We're in the
I mean, I've
next.
seen a guy. I went into one house and a guy lit a cigar and he exhaled smoke.
But that's not what we're talking about.
That's what
Kyle,
I'm
you
talking
bag
about.
on Nintendo
That's not
games
what
for
we're
the
talking about.
Exact same reason.
Like, we're talking about like next
No, I do
gen
not. Wow,
mechanics.
that's not even
Yes, you do.
close.
You bag on Nintendo games for the exact same reason,
Terrible,
and now you're
Vlad.
suddenly defending Assassin's Creed.
The only thing I'll say to Hyle's credit is that since I've played Assassin's Creed Unity, I have not gone back to play Assassin's Creed 2 or Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. But I will say that, for my own point, is that Assassin's Creed Unity is not a next-gen game. Assassin's Creed Unity is
visually it is, like, I think visually and
yeah, but how can you say that
aesthetically
with a 10 frame rate?
you can't like, you're right, you can't. But at the same time, like I said, I think aesthetically and visually it's a next gen game, but I think mechanically it's stuck in the last gen.
And that's all.
Lab is wrong. I bag on Nintendo games. I don't like Mario games. Bayonetta, the first Bayonetta, I never finished. So Bayonetta 2 had like 0 inches. If it came out on PS4 exclusive, I still wouldn't buy it. I never finished. I mean, I'll send you the first Bayonetta if you haven't bought it, Blab. Because I got to Grace and I can't remember what else, and it's like, man, this sucks. And I downloaded the demo for Bayonetta 2. It's like, more of the same.
No,
Not interested.
Bayonetta 2 is hardly more of the same.
The first Smash I played was Brawl on the Wii, and it was okay. My daughter likes it more than me, but it's not really my style either. So,
Blab.
what I
please
bag on the
respond.
Wii U for is I don't like. I've grown tired of Nintendo first-party games. That's pretty much that. So I'm looking forward to Chronicles X.
Yeah, and then you're gonna say that's just more Xenoblade.
Yeah, and
Well,
give it
I
5 minutes, Kyle. Give it 5 minutes, and then it'll be the same old song and dance. That's what I'm saying.
Like that's the same for any game though. Like
Blab
I
is
never played
fine.
Xenoblade.
it's the same
I never
for
played
so many
Xenoblade
games. Like,
either.
we rolled into this gen, so I don't want to say smoothly, but a lot of the developers had a lot of same ideas from last gen, and they just visually improved them, but they didn't improve any mechanics. Like, Transistor, as good as a game as it is, it's a game that could have been done last gen, easily.
It also doesn't have the best level design.
No,
It has an amazing combat system.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
The combat
think-
system alone was the price of admission on that game, but the design of it was repetitive. You did the same.
This is
fucking
why we're all hyping No Man's Sky and games like that.
Yep.
Games
Yeah,
that we
No-
feel like
No
will
Man's
be
Sky's
more
gonna be
next gen than past games.
I think, like, as good as Bloodborne's going to be, don't get me wrong, like, I think that's going to be an amazing game when it comes down to it, but it's going to be a last gen game and new paint.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
so Blab is Brawl a last gen game then?
Yeah, Brawl's
Yeah.
Brawl's the last
Absolutely.
gen. No, not Brawl, just
Brawl
Super.
is the last. Yes.
Yeah, Brawl's last
Right.
gen. It is a last gen game.
Is there
Super
something not
Smash
clear
game.
about that?
No,
Super
but
Smash.
Super Smash is a last gen game and new paint with some new stuff in the
Yeah,
in the
no, it
mechanics.
totally.
And
I'm
I
not saying,
already
I'm not
admitted
saying that it
to
is.
with Assassin's Creed that Black Flag was the first one I played to completion. I never played the other 4 or 5, so maybe I'll grow tired after Unity. I don't plan on getting the London one probably right away, but certain games stick with you, certain games don't. I've played enough Nintendo games to know that. I mean, I don't know. I don't see Eroica there playing Nintendo first party games either. It's not because of their kitty or something like that. I've just played a ton of Mario and a ton of them. So
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about a top-down Zelda game, I'm interested. If we're talking about a Zelda game that doesn't involve having to wave my arms around to use my sword, then I'm cool with that. But uh, I'm right there with you. I know what you're saying, Heil. It's not hate. It's just I don't know. I'm kind of on to other things. Like
It's
it doesn't.
weariness. You grow weary of all this
My
stuff.
my gamer time is kind of precious. Like I got kids, and I don't have I'm busy on the weekends. I work late at night a lot of nights, and like I get precious time in, and like there's a few series that I still like, and there's a few things I like, but really right now my greatest disappointment in gaming is that I want new IP. I'm done.
You got your first one coming out next March. Bloodborne.
What's that? Bloodborne. Well, I'll get Bloodborne, but like
I hope to God you get Bloodborne.
I'm personally getting tired of all of the pre-existing franchises, and like obviously I know Haya likes to bring up my Mass Effect, how that's my golden egg, but like I can even see myself if Mass Effect doesn't deliver on this new trilogy or whatever they're creating, this new experience that they're creating, and they're getting the Mako back and they're doing some things, but like I can see myself. I guess I don't hold enough pride for any one game or any one game series that I'm going to be blind to the fact that if I feel like I'm playing the same thing over and over and over and over again, like I do with Assassin's Creed. And I'm not saying that's a terrible thing, because I'm having fun with this Assassin's Creed game despite being irritated with a lot of aspects of it. To me, at the end of the day, like I'm willing to call any franchise out that I feel like they're just pumping games out that play exactly the same every year.
Yeah, but that's the like I think we're at the crux of change. I think the change is coming. Like you just need to let it happen. Like in time, like I think we saw a lot of Gen 6 games rolling into Gen 7. They were just shiny and prettier.
Did we?
Resistance was a typical first-person shooter.
Madden.
I think
Cameo,
Folklore, Cameo. I think they were all just.
That's the point of generations anyway, is to get the better looking games. Mechanically,
they change
the frames
later
per second and stuff like that. But I don't know what you guys are expecting. But I'm totally happy with the gen bump.
No, but I'm
with
happy.
the console. So
the gen bump I'm happy with, but I think if you're waiting for the change, the extreme
Jurg is looking
change,
for like virtual reality and like
no, he's not.
touching his like taste senses.
No,
oh,
it's
wow.
just like no. You have to, Eroica. You have to wait for the change later. Like the change will come. It's just that developers have to learn first. And as annoying as it is that you bought a PS4 on launch day, like it's gonna come. You're just gonna get the better looking games of Gen 7 right now. Like as much as I love Far Cry 4, it's a Gen 7 game in Gen 8 paint. Lords of the Fallen is the same thing. There haven't been new mechanics in any game that I've played that I started playing almost 10 years ago with the PS3 and Xbox 360.
That's so lame.
It's lame, but it's.
What else can you do though? I mean, you only have.
There's only.
What do you mean? What else can we do? So that's it. That's it, guys.
Yeah,
video games.
Video games are over. I'm out.
It's over. It's.
No, you just have certain genres. You should invent a new genre of game then.
It's not even a new genre. It's taking chances at new ideas and new ways to approach games, and why everything's the fucking same now. It's all the same shit, dude.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The same.
I agree
they look
with
the
you.
same. Everything's the same.
No, that's not true. But you're wrong. Just like Animal. But you guys can continue.
What are we wrong about? Please tell us.
I'm speaking very general. I mean, games.
You're right though. Games are still stuck in the past with a fresh coat of paint. As good as the infamous Second Son is, it could have been done last gen. As good as Smash Bros is, it could have been done last gen. As
Well-
good as
well,
Wolfenstein is,
8 players.
Yeah,
I mean,
it depends on what you want to put into it. though.
they're nominal, just small things that you feel
Small
like, oh, it couldn't
things.
have done. Small things like when you look at 3,000 people in Assassin's Creed Unity,
Right.
It just adds that much more immersion.
It's
That's
like-
more graphical. That's more
yes.
graphical. Fine.
it's
Well, I
it's
was
it's
100%
it's
look at
correct.
other,
it's
look at other
aesthetic.
things.
It's
Yeah,
aesthetic.
That's what makes
aesthetic,
Eroica and
but
Animal
things
raw.
like the Nemesis system, right? The
Could- I
Nemesis system straight up could not have worked last gen,
But why not?
right? That's
why
that's
not?
a compelling.
Like, did they give us a compelling reason why it couldn't have worked on the PS3 and 360
It's
versions?
just the algorithm and all. They couldn't run the entire open world with each person being their own thing. I mean,
Fair
that's
enough.
like that's a small nominal thing. Obviously, Shadow Mordor wasn't a gameplay leap, but like the Nemesis system was there. And then the greatest thing I felt like so far this generation, where I felt, oh, it's 2014. I feel like that is with 8-player Smash. When I have 5 people over at my house who actually want to play Smash, and there's no one who has to be a fifth wheel anymore.
Yeah,
That's
no,
when
I feel you.
that's when I feel like, okay, we are actually in the next gen a bit. Like that is
All right.
8-player Smash so far is my biggest. This is next gen feature.
Maybe I'm aiming too high for what my expectations are.
I think you are.
Well, I'm also coming off of a generation in the Xbox 360's start, which was phenomenal. I mean, the 360 was in its first year dropped bombs on everybody, and then 2007 was amazing. I mean, BioShock and Mass Effect alone in that year was amazing. And you mix Gears of War in there, you mix all these other new IPs in there, and you look at how Gen 7 started and how it carried through those first few years, and it was like an out of control train of fucking great games everywhere.
But I think the question you have to ask yourself is the tech advancing too fast for developers and engineers to catch up, or are they stuck? Are they stuck making things from last gen that were good, but
No,
they're just enhancing them?
No, their bean counters are sitting back saying, if we get too far off of our beaten path, we could alienate a certain number of fans that won't line up at fucking midnight to buy our broken ass game. Instead of saying, you know what? Let's take a couple chances here. Let's throw a few systems out.
But all right, you're
Let's
not
take
a game
combat
you're not a
Assassin's
game
Creed.
you're not a game developer. I want to ask you personally, how would you make the combat in Assassin's Creed Unity better?
Well, I would look around to see what
Mechanically, I want you to talk to me like you're an engineer.
I'm not an engineer.
Talk to me like you're an engineer.
Well,
Talk to me, Eroica.
first thing I do is
No, but ask me, like, how would you make the combat better?
I would make the combat better by giving it more depth. How about
What-
that?
all right,
How about
all
the
right,
fact
all
that
right. So
every
what?
Assassin's
All right. So
Creed
then let me
game
ask you. No.
You're not letting me finish my thought. You're not letting me finish my thought. I would say, you ask me a question, I'm going to give you an answer.
Depth. You say depth. What do you mean by depth?
Simple. That Assassin's Creed combat is clearly set up in such a way so that people
That's not the question I asked you, though.
of any
That's
age,
not
of
the
any-
question
of
I
any
asked you.
ability can jump in and be able to accomplish their fight with very, very little forward thought.
That's not
Go
the
on
question
like
I asked you.
Mordor,
You are
and
totally side-skirting the question I
I'm
asked you.
not side-skirting at all.
Yeah, you are. How would you add depth to Assassin's Creed? You just said depth. You know what depth means to an engineer? Depth is something... Shadow of Mordor kind of has depth compared to Assassin's Creed Unity. You know, the whole... It has robust Batman combat. That's what it has.
Well,
Unity, on the other hand, has like a 3-button system where it's square to attack, circle to dodge, and then square to come back in.
You are literally saying what I was just saying and
No,
saying.
I'm not, but I'm just saying, you just said you'd add depth to Assassin's Creed Unity.
I was explaining to you
No,
that
you weren't. No, you weren't.
Oh my God! A monkey could play Assassin's Creed and be successful at it.
You're right.
Monkey
I
could
agree.
not play.
I made a sandwich while playing Assassin's Creed.
Yes,
I
with my
agree.
feet. And that's the point I'm making. Is depth to me is step outside of your algorithms and your bean counters and saying we're afraid of alienating a certain group of people if we add in elements that make the combat too difficult. And I'm not even saying that going difficult is the way to go. What I'm saying is that they know. Ubisoft knows that the combat in fucking Assassin's Creed is the low.
It's easy. It's a
the
low bar
man on the totem pole when it comes.
But when I say when I ask you the question of
next
depth,
Uncharted might be the worst.
When I ask you the question of depth, what mechanics are you going to add that depth?
I would clearly look around at what other people are doing and get some ideas from that, and I would probably try to implement my you've got thousands of people working on Assassin's Creed. I got to sit through 30 minutes of credits in an Assassin's Creed game when I beat it. 30 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating that. They're 30 minutes long of credits on those games. And I've got to sit through, and every game that comes out, I still have to play that combat.
You're side-skirting my question.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. What depth would you add? How would the mechanics change? From controlling? We've talked about it. Yeah. Assassin's Creed Unity is basically
the player's
circle square. But that doesn't answer the question. More control. No, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
All right, so what mechanics would you add to make the combat more deep?
I would make the simple mechanics of
Jeff, all right. Maybe I'm not making this clear. Maybe I'm not making this clear enough. Maybe I'm not making this clear enough.
God.
I keep trying to explain it, but you keep interrupting me.
Can we just talk about big black dicks instead, please?
Oh no.
I don't know what other way to say it.
You're not. You keep using suit buzzwords like I would add blah blah blah. But like, how would you make the mechanics deeper? Like, would you make it like, okay, so they're about to hit, like, you know how the yellow bar.
Oh my God, this is what I've been saying, and you keep interrupting me. I would take the control of the simple counter and stab, which is all Assassin's Creed combat is counter and stab. And I would implement a process where the player had much more control over the fluidity of using their sword, using their gun, using whatever, all the tools that they put at their disposal. I would make it more in depth. I'm not going to say I'd make it like Batman or make it like Shadows of Mordor, but I would use games like that clearly have spent more time to create a more in-depth type of combat system and channel that into my new Assassin's Creed game. I would make the combat in Assassin's Creed fun, is what I would do. And not just I'm in a fight with 5 guys, counter stab, rinse and repeat, and then run away. That's what I would do.
They had a little bit with that. I like last in the Flag. I really loved the blowgun because it was so satisfying, like in the garden or.
Listen to this fucking guy.
What?
Go ahead. I want to hear what Heil has to say.
No, I said it's so satisfying using that. You can kind of use your crossbow. What?
Nothing. I just told him I'm going to smash his face. Keep going.
But they're satisfying using that, so they added a little more. Plus, you can use different distractions. You can. They have guns. They have both long and. What's the other range? There's short range, long range sword.
Yeah.
But, they added some of that stuff because that combat's a little different than just the short sword. But I don't know. I like it. I think Batman and Sleeping Dogs is probably the tip of combat for hand to hand. But those games are unique because they don't really focus on weapons. So. Whereas you're an assassin in that time period, you're going against guys with swords. So I don't know. I see what you're saying though. They could add blocking. They could probably add with blocking. They could be adding like roll possibly or.
Or how about a strong and a weak attack? I mean, is that? I mean, that's something that's been.
Thank you. That's what I've been waiting for.
Well, but that's what I've been articulating. I'm seeing it in such a way that I don't think that anybody's blind to the fact that the combat in game in Assassin's Creed is probably one of its weaker points, and that Ubisoft maybe doesn't put a large emphasis on the combat because they try to keep a lot of the emphasis on Assassin's Creed game on your ability to move around the area with, and truthfully, they don't try to make I don't think anyways that they try to design Assassin's Creed to be a game where you run in the middle of everybody and just start fighting. They want you to climb to the top of a building, sneak in a window, use your eagle vision, see what's around the next corner, see if you can gut someone with your hidden blade, instead of just the straight approach of combat. So maybe in their war room, when they're designing an Assassin's Creed game, they say, we don't want to make the combat more in depth because it's going to encourage people to be less stealth. Maybe that's the whole point for them. But the way that I'm looking at it is that I see this new London Assassin's Creed game gets announced or gets teased the other day, and I say to myself, they are once bitten, twice shy. They said Assassin's Creed Unity was going to be this huge leap for the franchise, and it's not. It's just another Assassin's Creed game with a little bit more detail, a much prettier and larger map, and I get that. And the ability to go in-house, as I admit, is cool, but it's not. There's no fundamental change to Assassin's Creed. It's the same franchise as it's always been. That's my point.
Saturday.
I can see that because you played. How many have been before that?
Dave and Buster's
There's been Black Flag, then 3, and then how many more? There's 3 or 4.
There was the Ezio trilogy. Altair makes 4. Connor makes 5. And then you had Black Flag. Edward Kenway makes 6. And then you've got Unity is 7, and I haven't and probably will not play Rogue.
Yeah, so you played 6.
There's Rogue, and then there's Bloodlines, and there's Liberation.
So you played 6 of them before this one, so I could see that. We're in 30, whereas I got that Assassin's Creed number 2 feeling from you.
Yeah.
When you first played that, where it's like, wow, this is awesome. Because I tried those other first 2 games and got bored and stopped playing them. Because I thought the eavesdrop will suck. Where I'm getting that excitement of playing basically like something new because it's totally different than Black Flag. Black Flag focused on naval, sword, like of a pirate. But so, yeah, I can see where you get to. That's a lot of games you played, so...
Yeah, I mean, and Black Flag's strength was in its ability to distract you from the normal Assassin's Creed stuff. I mean, the ship combat was done so well, and I don't think anyone would argue that the ship combat alone could have been its own standalone game, considering the depth that they went to in it. But and I guess someone could argue that at the end of the day, you were really just attacking ships and boarding them and kind of rinse, wash, and repeat. But
boarding them was so satisfying, though.
It really was. It really was. And when you went to the bigger areas, when you went to Havana or you went to wherever you could get off the boat and run around in the city, you didn't get burnt out as quick because you knew that you would be back on the boat sailing the high seas again, or you'd be fishing great whites, or you'd be deep sea diving, or all the myriad of things that they packed into Black Flag. And Edward Kenway to me was the most forgettable protagonist in Assassin's Creed, but at the same time I feel like they used him as almost like he's a guy you don't really need to know a lot about. Just take a look at this huge playground we made you and have fun, and don't take it so serious. So where with Arno, I'm getting more of they're trying to create the next Ezio. Of course, now they're moving over to London, so I'm assuming that Arno's story is done.
I wanted to like Black Flag, but unfortunately, I don't like the cities or the towns. It's just all too Caribbean, small. Hey, climb this small little house.
Animal's so hammered, dude.
Yeah, we should. Let's end
we're gonna wrap it up.
Are you gonna play any tonight, or are you going to bed?
No,
you gonna play Diablo with me tonight?
No, it's 11, dude. I'm
going.
Oh
my God, you're such a fucking baby.
I know.
Listen, so let's recap. Big Black Cocks. Games. And we talked a lot about just the release state of games. And Eroica tried to explain to me how he could make Assassin's Creed better, but didn't.
And Animal tried not to throw up in his own mouth and re-swallow it on a podcast.
Hey, I didn't do that. My mom just got me a new sweater, so shut up.
Oh, my God. Blab, man, we want to say thank you to you for being on the show tonight and putting up with us.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. It was fun to listen to. Thanks for having me.
Wait,
And,
I have a quick question.
Oh God.
I drank this much whiskey. Is that bad?
No, that's okay.
Like,
See,
you guys-
pick, see, pick
Be
and
a nice
channel.
person. Be a nice person and surprise your liver with some water. Do that.
No.
The first conversation I ever had with Animal on the forum, he was hammered, and it was like 11 o'clock, midnight. It was like over my summer vacation.
What conversation is this?
No, it was like you were like drunk posting on System Wars, and I think we had a I remember we had a conversation.
Were you still Colonel Mustard?
I don't know.
Oh.
No, I wasn't. But anyways.
Okay, so anyways.
So yeah, we want to say thanks to
Wait,
to
you didn't finish the story.
No, that's it. That was the story.
You were just talking to me drunk,
Yeah,
as
that was
always?
it. You were drunk. You were hammered. So
Oh
I want
my
to say
God.
thanks to Blabadon for being on the show. I'm going to kick everything over to the hashtag legendary Heil68 to say thank you on behalf of myself, the Eroica, and Johnny Danger, Animal Band Mother. Take it away, Heil.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk about the flop either, so I guess that's next week's show for sure. We
Yeah.
got to talk
Game
about
of
the
the
hurt to
Year's
the flop.
We have
I know
someone
Blabadon
coming.
wants to talk.
We have someone coming on the show next week too.
Oh,
Yeah, Golden. I saw that. So
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll talk next week, Blabadon, so you got to join us again. We like having you on.
I will try.
All right.
All
Yeah,
right.
so for everybody, I guess we'll catch you later. Later.
See ya.
Thank you.